In this video, we had originally intended to check out a family's property in Idaho and then also take a hike to some amazing hot springs we had heard about. Now, when we got to those hot springs, the road actually closed behind us and we weren't able to go back the way we came, so we ended up going all the way through Montana, over Lolo Pass, and into Glacier National Park on the way home. The hot springs were amazing. The property we're gonna see soon anyways, but the adventure was priceless and we had a good time. We started our route in our favorite direction, towards Leavenworth, and we intended to stay there that night in a free parking lot, but we changed our minds last minute.
This is a really good example of our boondocking style. We are in Leavenworth, but it's 9 o'clock and we decided we're like, nope, we don't want to stay in a parking lot here if we can stay in a parking lot 2 hours closer to where we want to go. So instead of going to bed, we are getting up and we're going to try to get to Othello or Pullman by midnight.
There's a street of them too at some point in one of our podcasts.
Would you mind just wanting to say hello to everybody? Say hello.
We thought we made it to Idaho today, and it's 3 a.m. and we are about 15 miles from Idaho. But we camped along this cool river and it's apparently beautiful, though we haven't seen any of it yet because it's middle of the night. But we did it, almost, and only 150 miles to go before we turn around and do it all over again.
There's several others, and Mission to Mars was one I made note of because, interestingly enough,
We're gonna go to the hot springs and they were kind of hard to park in, so we kind of just kept driving, and turns out we went over a pass and now we're in Montana. So I think we're gonna go to Glacier National Park or something like all the cool kids are doing.
So we wanted to try one more time to get to these hot springs. After all, they were kind of the reason that we were on the trip in the first place. So we went and stayed a night in Lolo Pass at a closed campground and then tried again in the morning.
Streams that rush up out of hot lava beds or fall from the frosty peaks in the channels. Rocky Bear,
Good morning from Montana. We made it accidentally, and we stayed in a really cool spot that turns out Peter went to dust off a sign, and this is the sign he dusted off. No overnight camping and dogs on a leash. It's a good thing we follow rules so well.
So that morning we got back up, got back into the car, went over Lolo Pass, and found a parking spot right outside the hike to the hot springs. So we decided, why not hike in the snow and get a soak on.
We're back. Hot Springs Adventures. Whoa.
And with a little bit of effort, suddenly we were in the most beautiful hot spring I think we've ever seen, all alone in the middle of nowhere. It was fantastic. We can't wait to go back. And we made it. Monday morning, it said the roads were closed, and they weren't. So we hiked, it's like 0.7 miles in the snow, and then we're here. Cheers. One thing we both really recommend for anyone who wants to do snow adventures, snow travel, or snow camping would be yak tracks or crampons. We bought a pair off Amazon for so cheap, and they definitely saved the hike for me when I was slipping all over the place.
How would you rate the hot springs from 1 to 10?
Best out of 10.
So that would be a 10.0?
Yes.
Good. Road was surprise close.
They trapped us up on that pass.
So we made it to the hot springs. But about half a mile past them, the road actually got closed behind us. And so now we're going back through Montana. And it's good that we had an extra day, so we're gonna go back to Lolo. Right?
Yes.
So excited. We're gonna do 100 more miles extra just because we can't go back.
Everyone, we're back. We did 50 miles back down to the Idaho, whatever, it's not coast because there's no water, but we went back, we got into hot springs clearly, and then the road was closed that we had taken for 150 miles, so we decided to turn back around. We're going to go to Glacier after all, even though we were going to just go home, because yeehaw. Yeehaw.
The adventure wasn't over yet. We stopped for dinner in a tiny little town, and there was a situation that we encountered with a bridge that we certainly will not be forgetting anytime soon.
You're good. Ooh, so freaking close. Poppy, tell them where we're at. We made it to Glacier National Park. It is 10 p.m. It is pouring down rain or snow, and we're gonna see if there's a spot for us. It's crazy. We woke up the next morning to Glacier National Park, all to ourselves, peaceful, and blanketed in the most beautiful snow we've ever seen. Our only
neighbor was a lone gentleman in a tent about 40 sites over, and we think we saw him out on the lake ice fishing, which sounded a little cold to us. Before we left Glacier National Park, we knew we wanted to get a picture of our Glacier Pendleton that we'd had and kept in the trailer all of our travels. So we ran out. It was freezing cold, but we got a beautiful shot right at the lake. Then we said our final goodbyes to Glacier National Park and headed towards Whitefish and the way home, really.
So we're driving, and Peter sees this, and you can only guess where we will be stopping in about 10 seconds. Advertising works, kids. He's very excited. Welcome to... Dang it, semi. Idaho. One state down, 2 to go.
And then we made it. Like that, we were home again, ready for the next adventure a couple days later.